So today we're going to be threading the top of the machine. We first start off with our thread. We're going to take our thread stopper off, placing our thread, making sure that the thread comes over top, and placing it onto the thread spool, placing the thread stopper back on the flat side against the thread, leaving a little bit of wiggle room. Then you're going to take your thread and you're going to guide it through the thread guide. This is the thread guide, and it has arrows that point in which direction you need to go. Now, before you start going through the thread guide, we need to make sure that your thread take-up lever is showing. This is your thread take-up lever. Now, if your thread take-up lever is not showing, you need to turn your hand wheel so that it is shown as it is here. So then once you have your thread take-up lever showing, you're going to take your thread and start threading the thread through the thread guide. So our first arrow says to go across, which we put behind the thread guide, and we pull down going through this first row. Then we have a second arrow that's telling us to go across and back up. And then our third arrow is telling us to turn again and go back down. Now this time you want to stay on the right hand side and come around through the thread guide, pulling it until it is centered right in the thread take-up lever. Once you've seen that, then you just go straight back down. Now this is where we have smaller pieces that we need to thread in the machine. Right here there is a metal bar that the thread will slide behind. It's on the left side and you slide it behind. This just allows the thread to stay close to the needle and keeps it in place. Next, we are going to thread the needle. The needle here, as you can see, has an eye at the bottom of the needle. You are going to take your thread and thread it through the eye. Now here's some tips that you need to know, that if you're having problems getting the thread into the eye, you need to look at the end of your thread. If it's frayed, you need to take a pair of scissors and just get a clean edge. When you're holding the thread, you need to hold closer to the end so you have control of the end. If you hold it too far back, you're not going to have control and it's going to be really hard to get through the eye. So holding close to the end, you're going to take that thread through the eye. Once you see it, I kind of push it to the side so I can grab the tail. As you grab the tail, you want to make sure that the thread doesn't wrap around the needle, so I just hold it as I pull it close so it lays flat against the needle. Once you have got it through the eye, then you pull out a little extra thread. Then right here in the presser foot, there's a slit that the thread will go through. You just slide it underneath and then leave the thread off to the side.